I hear interesting conversations lately. I've been hearing from what's going on to the news to relationships and how people view relationships, especially in today's times, in the modern and today's modern times. I hear it on both sides. There's questions that pop up. Do you believe in love at first sight? Generally speaking, I notice a lot of, you know, women, they'll say yes, there's love at first sight, because of this happens, I met this person and I felt this connection and then I knew it was love, and then A, B, and C. Then for the fellas, they're like, no, there's no love at first sight. But there's a split I've noticed. Some men will say, yeah, there's love at first sight. And others will say, no, there's no such thing as love at first sight. Now, my question is, for the men that says, yes, there's love at first sight, why do you believe that there's love at first sight? I sense that it's influence. Those that are influenced versus those that see situations as they are. They're a bit more honest. So it depends on how the view is. But yeah, but what I think, no, there's no such thing as love at first sight, but there is infatuation and attraction at first sight. And then once you get to know that person, that's where love can grow. It's more than just emotion or feelings, because feelings can change. Love does not change. If people say, oh, love can change, they haven't really loved, right? Because then they start throwing in as love is unconditional, but they say that when it benefits them. No, love stands alone. It's unconditional. It's unconditional, and it's conditional at the same time. Now, love is unconditional to the point where it doesn't matter if you're mad at that person, you still will talk to that person, you still wish them well, you still wish for the best for them, and that sort of thing. You would, save a person's life in spite of whatever. That love stretches out like to family members, like your brother, your parents, your sister, or your brother. That's the love. It doesn't change it. It doesn't change, nor does it waver. Now, love that's conditional is this. A couple, right? It's a give or take. It's how you treat one another. If one mistreats the other, then the other is going to pull away. Okay, that's the conditional part. If all of a sudden they're not a person, say if a guy is nice to his mate and his mate is not showing appreciation, he's going to pull back, and he's eventually going to end the relationship, and rightfully so. But what gets twisted is a lot, especially in modern times, the woman says, well, I thought you loved me. You need to love me and accept me for who I am. But at the same time, they don't want to accept that guy for who he is and for what he stands for. That's not love. That's manipulation. Okay, and that is selfish. And the biggest buzzwords that a modern women throw is narcissist, which is that fact, very same actions they are demonstrating. Those women that have this sentiment is narcissist, right? And they throw that word and they use that tactic and that buzzword because their guy or people around them don't agree with what she's saying. So some modern women use these buzzwords or the word trigger, but yet if someone says to them, oh, you sound like you triggered, then such women get upset because it's being said to them, but they want to throw that word back on them as far as being triggered. Anyhow, but yes, I would say the first love at first sight, it's only once, and you really genuinely feel for the love is of your mom. To me, that's the love at first sight. That's the most deepest, purest connection. Okay, love at that kind of love, or when you see your youngin' born for the first time, or the siblings when they see their little sister, little brother born, that's love. That's love. Okay. Now, as far as the love that a person feels like a relationship type of love, no. Love grows. But there's infatuation and attraction at first sight. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all.